Today I wanted to talk about what are the signs of ADHD in women. My name is Bridget, I'm a nurse practitioner, and I have ADHD. I was not diagnosed as a child, which would have made my childhood a lot easier. I was diagnosed as an adult. You may notice signs of ADHD in many different areas of your life. Some of these symptoms may be worse or more noticeable in certain contexts, such as work or school. For me, I love learning. I'm a nerd. I excelled at school. One of the characteristics of ADHD is being able to hyper-focus in areas that interest you. So I never really struggled in school, and I think that's one of the reasons why I was never diagnosed as a child, because my teachers weren't after me saying like, hey, this person is so inattentive during school. But I was always that person that underneath the table, my leg is going a million miles an hour. You know, that leg jiggle? And sometimes even as I'm filming, I have to watch it because I'll start jiggling subconsciously and the camera will start moving. You may find that you spend a lot of time and effort to appear normal, and having ADHD, sometimes we do have to work twice as hard. When it comes to ADHD in relationships, you may wish you were able to be a better friend, partner, or mom, and that you could do the things that other people do. I have very few friends. I know many people, I have many acquaintances. I care deeply for many people, but I'm awful at friendship. I have a friend that I went to nursing school with that I care for deeply. I love her to death. We had made an appointment, and again, all of this goes back to the days I don't check my planner. I made a video, I recorded these 2 videos today, and I talked in the last video about how I forgot a microdermabrasion appointment. And this is happening because I'm not checking my planner as consistently as I should be. One thing that you can implement if you have ADHD is build habits, because those habits will help you get through these challenges as being neurodivergent. So I had a date with a friend. We had rescheduled already, which is why I think my brain was messed up with what was the date we were supposed to meet at. I feel so bad. The day of the appointment, I completely forgot. I made plans with my husband. We were in downtown, and I get a phone call from my friend. She's like, hey, I'm here, where are you? And I was like, panic just like grabbed me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I forgot. And like, I can understand, like if I was in my friend's shoes, I don't even blame them. Like, I don't even blame them if they get mad. I don't blame them if they don't want to be my friend anymore, because it's really hard to, you know, from their point of view, they're going to see it as like disrespectful, or you don't care about me, I'm not a priority. But when you have ADHD, you have so many things in your brain, and for some reason you're forgetful, and it's just the way that you are. So I completely forgot our lunch date, and I sent her some flowers, and she's asked to reschedule, but honestly, I'm so afraid of forgetting again our date that I've been apprehensive. You know, plus I had surgery, but I've been apprehensive to schedule another day because I'm scared I'm gonna forget again. Now, when it comes to work or things like that, because I'm working a set schedule, and that's another thing, when you have ADHD, schedules are great because you get, again, in the habit, you know, every single day at this time, you're doing this. So those things, you know, I'm good with that. I show up for work on time. I can do my work. I do a good job. It's everything else. It's my personal life that sometimes is in shambles. Like, my work life is fantastic, but it's because it's those one-off things. I normally don't go out, or I normally don't have lunch dates. So things that are outside of your normal purview, it's like, whoa, I completely forgot about that. You may wish you could remember birthdays, bake cookies, and arrive on time for a date. Again, people with ADHD are notoriously late. It's something that we can work on, because society tends to think that if you're late for something, it's because you don't value their time, you're disrespectful. And because you're not able to do things that society expects women to do, people may think you don't care, but that's not the case. Again, I had an ex that, because I couldn't remember certain dates or whatever, he thought I just didn't care. That wasn't the case. It was a friction point. So if you know someone, if you love someone that has ADHD, give them grace. A lot of times what they're doing is not on purpose. Social life. Growing up, you may have been described as a tomboy. Definitely me. Because you had so much energy and liked to be busy. I remember in elementary school, the girls would be playing house. And again, when you have ADHD, you aren't always like wired to like the same traditional conformist gender roles. Like, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you're into. But like, for me, I have energy. I had energy before Sjogren's, before my autoimmune condition. As a child, I was always go, go, go. I was in every single sport. I was playing soccer with the boys. Like, playing house, that was boring. Sitting there and small talk, no, I couldn't. Not only do I have ADHD, but I'm also an introvert. So like small talk drains my soul. So I was out there playing soccer. I was definitely a tomboy, and I just had so much more fun being physical. As an adult, friendships can be difficult to navigate because social rules seem complicated. People say that you talk more than anyone else they know. Now, for me, that's not the case. Again, I guess that goes back to being an introvert. I'm very quiet around people I don't know and I'm not comfortable with. And then around my loved ones, I do have a lot to say, but not normally around like strangers. While you may be talkative, you may dislike going to parties and other social gatherings because they make you feel overwhelmed and shy. And one thing that people with autism and people with ADHD have in common is this increased sensitivity to our senses. So noise, too much loud noise, certain material like velvet, to me, the feel of velvet, like it's like nails on a chalkboard. It's really hard to describe, but like I can't wear ever velvet, like certain textures or certain sounds if they're too loud. I remember going to SeaWorld, I think it was, and like it's just so loud. I would cover my ears. My dad would be like, act normal, like what are you doing? It's like our brains don't like that much stimulus. Your mind drifts during conversations unless you're the one talking or it's a topic you find very interesting. I tend to be a good listener because when someone is talking to me, I really care about that person. So I try to listen with like showing them that I care, being empathic and an active listener. My husband has ADHD and he's definitely, I will talk to him and he doesn't really listen well. He drifts off easily. I'll be like, he'll interrupt me mid-conversation. Work. Being at the office feels difficult. The noise and people make it hard to get work done. That is true. Again, with ADHD, you're easily distracted. Noises distract you. When I used to have to take tests in school, I would have to bring earplugs. And again, I didn't have a diagnosis of ADHD, but I knew I was different than other people because I was the only one bringing earplugs. I didn't have reasonable accommodation. I highly suggest that if you have ADHD, get that reasonable accommodation in school, get that extra test time, because when you have ADHD and you hear noises, you get distracted and then you have to go back and read the same sentence over and over just to say, what are they asking here? But being at the office often feels difficult because there's just so much noise, so much distraction. How can you focus? You may choose to stay late or come in early because the only time you can work effectively is when everyone else has left and it's quiet. I love the quiet. Some people with ADHD don't like the quiet. They like background noise, white noise, but for me, I love quiet. Your desk at work is piled high with papers. Even when you make a big effort to tidy it, it only stays clear for a day or two. This is me for a T. I don't know why, but it's just so easy to be messy with ADHD. It's so easy to be messy. Now, messy doesn't mean dirty, like I clean. But I work from home, which is a blessing because again, I can minimize distractions and noises, but my desk, always a mess. I know where everything is on my desk. It's like an organized mess. I think with ADHD, like it needs to be in your sight or your line of vision for you to like remember that you have it. It's just really weird, bizarre. And even when I clean, like it will take me so long to clean and organize everything. And yes, it only stays clear for a day or two. And this was a pain point growing up. My sister borders on like having obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Like she is the most organized person I know. Her handwriting is pristine. It is so good. Her handwriting is so good, so neat. It's like if she might as well have typed it. Whereas me, my handwriting is sloppy, messy. My letters are big. So our rooms were such a contrast. On one side, my room looks like it was hit by a tornado. Hers, immaculate, pristine. And it was always, my parents are very, very organized. Growing up, that was the struggle always. Why can't you be more organized? Look at how your sister's so organized. And it's like, I never knew why it was so hard for me to stay organized. And it's just, again, we're neurodivergent. For some reason, that's just the way our brains are. It's just really hard to stay organized. One recommendation I have is maybe think about adopting a minimalist lifestyle, because the less items you have, the easier it is to stay organized, the less clutter you have. So I have tried to buy less stuff. I'm trying to be more of a minimalist so that there's not so much clutter in my house. In school, ADHD symptoms in girls may get overlooked because women are more likely to have inattentive ADHD, which doesn't have the visible behavior problems that hyperactive, impulsive ADHD usually does. Now, I am very hyperactive and impulsive, but I was also raised by parents, especially my father, was very like authoritarian, very a huge disciplinarian. And like as a female, we're always taught like, be a good girl, be the nice girl. So like inside, I'm, to this day, I will catch myself. I will be eating a meal and I will have the impulse, like I'm in the middle of chewing and I'm bored by the act of chewing that I catch myself leaving my chair and going to do something else until I'm done with that bite of food. Like I can't sit still if I'm at home and eat a meal. Like, so when I was at school though, I would find ways to disperse that energy by like jiggling, tapping, or writing notes. Like I am an avid note taker because if I could take notes, then my mind was engaged, my fingers were engaged, my hands were engaged, so that would help me focus. Girls with ADHD may also hyper-focus on things that interest them. And again, huge nerd, I loved school, so I could focus in school like nobody's business, leading teachers and parents to overlook the possibility of ADHD. As an adult, you may feel frustrated that people you went to school with pass you by with their achievements, even though you're just as smart. Daily life. With ADHD, it may feel like each day is spent responding to requests and limiting disasters rather than moving forward with goals. You may feel crushing sadness and frustration that you haven't met your potential. Other daily struggles may include paper clutter. It often feels like you're drowning in paperwork. At work, home, in your car, and even in your purse, you have an uneasy feeling that unpaid bills and forgotten projects are hiding under all the paper. You don't feel organized with money and are usually behind with bills. I'm pretty good with paying my bills on time. One way to not even forget about it is set everything on auto pay. Have an auto pay so that you don't forget your credit card payments, you don't forget your light bill, you don't forget all those things. Set reminders for yourself on your phone, alarms, anything. Overspending. I struggle with overspending. You often overspend to compensate for other problems. For example, when you don't have a clean outfit to wear for an office party, you buy a new one. Or when you forget someone's birthday, you may buy an expensive present to make up for it. Shopping trips make you feel better in the moment, but you feel regretful later when the credit card bill arrives. One way that I don't overspend is I'm busy and I just don't go out to shop. Like I really don't spend that much when it comes to clothes. Where all my money goes is health stuff, health and wellness, like gym memberships, I have a membership to a yoga studio. I just got a membership to like F45 because I got a new job and the work schedule doesn't work with the yoga studio where I'm at. I've had to pay for like my foot surgery. I had to pay for my plantar fasciitis surgery. So like that's where all my money goes. Disorganization. You may spend a lot of time, money, and research on products to help you be more organized, but then you don't use them. You may feel embarrassed to have guests visit your home because it's so cluttered and disorganized. Yes, that's me. Again, my house is clean, just very disordered. Like it's not even cluttered because I don't have that much stuff. It's just disorganized. If you have ADHD, you know what I'm talking about. I need heads up before someone can come over because I need to fix my bathroom. Like I live my life more of like functionality versus aesthetic. So like for me, it's just easier to leave everything on the counter that I use instead of putting it away and putting it back, like putting it away, putting it back. Like I just leave it there. But that looks really cluttered and tacky if I'm gonna have company over. There'll be like boxes or mail that I need to put away, or there's just things that pile up and I need time to prepare if I'm gonna have company. Like I just don't want people to come over unexpectedly. Because I need time to organize. Indecision. I'm also very indecisive. Grocery stores overwhelm you and you may find it hard to make decisions about what to buy. You often forget a key ingredient for a meal, even though you take longer in the store than most people do. I laugh because it's true, but also I laugh because I've learned to laugh at myself. If I could either judge and be cruel to myself, or I can be kind to myself and learn to laugh at myself. And I think laughing is a much healthier response than being self-critical and mean to myself. Relaxing is often difficult for people with ADHD. Little things can push you over the top and you may become emotional. Many women are relieved to learn that behaviors they have been struggling with for as long as they can remember are because of ADHD. It's essential to start by getting an accurate diagnosis to find the appropriate treatment. ADHD is often missed well into adulthood, so getting a diagnosis can be an important step toward understanding things about yourself that you might have previously chalked up to other causes. ADHD treatments can include medication, therapy, lifestyle changes, and accommodations in school, work, and home. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this on TikTok, make sure that you follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe.